Okay, Philip. In this paragraph, I was thrown off a bit because you wrote, along with the hardware and software interfacing learning curve, the data immersers cited other factors that added to their cognitive load, including being overwhelmed by excessive visual material and complex interfaces, being distracted by avatar interaction options, social novelty, and a higher degree of socialization. And then I made a comment on the side as well, you can't just state this, you have to actually provide the proof, which I think you've done here. But then you had the second factor of this season, this theme is cognitive factor. And I'm not understanding what cognitive factor is at all. And I don't understand the organization of it, because if you come up here, you state that the qualitative data consists of the pre-course questionnaire, open-ended responses, and the journal entries, and I've labeled it this. But you don't tell me anything about their specific themes. Within this category, there are 2 themes or something of that nature. So I'm confused. I don't know if cognitive overload is I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, I'm. You're talking about the cognitive benefits. I don't know if that's a theme. I don't know if cognitive overload is a theme. That isn't clear. I don't know if learning curve is a theme. Um, and then we talked about these other distractions without quotes. And then you talked about a second factor of this theme. What theme? I'm not sure what theme is the cognitive factor, but that's I don't know. We're talking about positioning of IVR pedagogy and learning between realities. I think you need a better label there. I'm not sure what this. I've forgotten what the question is at this point. Let me go back up and see. Um, Quantitative findings. Here we are. The second question is, what pedagogical and experience contrasts do emergence associate with IVR learning that can inform the um, new IVR framework? Uh, yeah, I'm not. So that's not helping me here. So you've got the quantitative findings. I don't know how. Hmm. Pedagogical and experiential constructs. So I think you have to stick with that labeling instead of changing it, right? Because your question is, what pedagogical and experiential contracts do immersions associate with IVR learning that can inform the iterative development of? Now that part is more your interpretation later on. So your question probably should be, what pedagogical and experiential constructs do immersions associate with IVR? That actually should be the question, because the informing of the network, the framework, is a later sort of a thing, I think, in interpretation. So I talked about the quantitative findings, but then you have this qualitative thing answering this question about the pedagogical and experiential parts. But then you talk positioning RVA pedagogy. So that's pedagogy and learning. I don't know about the experiential part. So I think you need a paragraph here telling us about the themes that you've come across within this category and then presenting them as such, because now it's getting disjointed and I'm lost, especially when I get to this point here about the second factor of this theme, the cognitive factor, which you've never mentioned before, and now you're turning in a personal. And then I think that's sort of related to this, the socialization and the interactions. So anyway, that's my feedback. I am lost at this section actually, so something we'll probably have to talk about.